Beyond the teeming hive spires of Necromunda spans a blasted wasteland of dust, pollution, and desolation. Millennia of unchecked industry have left the landscape scarred and barren, and utterly inhospitable to human life. In this hellish environment lurk mutants, nomads, and criminals, fighting viciously for control of trade routes and the scarce remaining resources. Only the strong survive, and only the foolish or the greedy dare venture into the Ash Wastes. In this video, we're going to explore the Necromunda Ash Wastes, the terrain, the miniatures, the vehicles, and what makes it one of Warhammer's most interesting settings. This is Eric's Hobby Workshop. Welcome to the Ash Wastes. The Ash Wastes are something I've been interested in for a long time. One of the first successful videos on this channel was my Desert Wasteland Fort, something I'd made with the concept of the Ash Wastes in the back of my mind. When I first got into Necromunda, Ash Waste was not really supported. It only existed in the form of a few articles here and there with some supplemental magazines released between the 1995 release of the original Necromunda and the 2003 update. But I knew it added two things that I really enjoyed to Necromunda. One is desert and wasteland environments, and the other is vehicles. Ever since the release of Mad Max, ramshackle fighting vehicles speeding through a post-apocalyptic desert has become almost a subgenre of its own, and with good reason. It lets us imagine ourselves as modern-day cowboys, and imagine how we would fare if the civilization we're used to were to deteriorate into lawlessness. With the release last summer of the official Ash Wastes expansion for Necromunda, Games Workshop has released vehicle rules and kits for the familiar gangs of the Underhive, and a few more as well. They sent me a few, so let's have a look. First up are the Escher Cutters, lightning-fast jet bikes used by the Escher gang. The Eschers are vicious femme fatales, and their jet bikes suit their aesthetic nicely. They're fast, lightly armored, and look like they can do some serious damage. I actually find it really funny that in the 41st millennium, even Primaris Space Marines use regular motorcycles with wheels, while the gangs of Necromunda have access to things like jet bikes. But if you compare the Escher Cutters to the Space Marine jet bikes from the Horus Heresy, you can see that these are lean, mean, tiny jet bikes compared to the big, chunky war jet bikes, and that makes me feel a little bit better. On the other side of the spectrum, the hulking Goliath gang has their Maulers, which I can only describe as badass tricycles, I guess. These things are pretty hardcore. Goliaths are juiced up forge workers, and I think these big, chunky, low-to-the-ground bikes really fit their aesthetic. They look like they're just designed to run people over. I love it. Now, one of the best things about the new vehicle rules is that they're really open-ended. There are general rules for all different types of vehicles, hovercrafts, walkers, you name it, which means that it invites the fans to convert and customize their own vehicles. So let's give that a try. I found this little truck at the thrift store, along with a handful of other vehicles that I bought for conversions. Unfortunately, my son came into my workshop one day and he saw this bright yellow truck, and it didn't feel right to keep a toy to myself when I have so many already, so I gave it to him. Luckily, I found a second one that's exactly the same, so let's convert this one. First thing I did was remove all the stickers. These aren't going to help anyone. With a small screwdriver, I removed the screws that hold this thing together, because there are some driver seats inside, but the scale is a bit too large for Warhammer minis, so I just pulled those out. Then I started gluing metal mesh inside all the windows. This is going to give the cab a reinforced look while also saving me from painting the interior and fixing all the scale issues. This will also make this piece able to be used by any gang that I choose in the future. I thought about removing this front grille bit, but then I decided it's actually kind of sick, so I decided instead to spruce it up a little bit. The first thing I did was add this big alien skull from the Citadel Skulls kit. Then I wrapped it in some jewelry chain to give it a rugged look like it was chained on there. I think it looks pretty badass. We're onto something here. The next thing I did was add some diamond plate plasticard to the middle of the bed in the back, just to give it a little bit of detail and to hide the big seam running down the middle. I also added a piece of plasticard to the top of the cab just to add a bit of rigidity and also to hide that seam. It's a pretty simple conversion, but I already have the makings of a rugged wasteland vehicle here. So at this point, I took it outside, I primed it black, then sprayed the whole thing brown, and then highlighted a few areas with white so I could begin painting. Next, I spray thinned yellow through the airbrush. With the underpainting that I did, you get a nice looking gradient really quickly. I did some brighter highlights with a sponge to get a chipped, sort of interesting finish, and then I did some really quick weathering with acrylic paints. I actually rushed to finish this pretty hard because I was heading out of town to the UK to go to Bring Out Your Lead, which is an Oldhammer convention hosted near Nottingham every year. My friend Curtis from Ramshackle Games was hosting a big game there called Hell's Reach, which uses a modified version of the 2003 Necromunda rules. It was a ton of fun and a little bit chaotic. I actually got a chance to meet John Blanche while I was playing, which was really special. After the game was done, I had some of my friends sign the truck to commemorate a fun day. It was pretty awesome. Is it family?
Yeah.
It's been a long while since I played in a Necromunda campaign. The last campaign I played in was cut short due to the start of the pandemic a few years ago, which gives you some idea of how long, but I love the idea of playing again. The only problem is, I've built up a lot of gangs since then, and I'm not sure which gang I would choose because I have so many of them. Let me show you, maybe you can help me choose. First, I have these Eschers. There's lots of them, the colors are great, I love them. I actually made these for my wife, who I've been trying to get to play Necromunda with me for a while, and she's actually agreed, but it's tough to find a window when we have enough time away from the kid to get a full game in without us wanting to use that time to go on a date or something and get out of the house. But we'll get there. Next up, I have this Cawdor gang. They're all made from the original metal Cawdor minis, and they're really cool, I think. They have this midnight blue color scheme so I can use them as cultists in my 40k Night Lord's army. I had a lot of fun hunting down a bunch of the poses on eBay and stuff, but I painted them before I really knew the importance of varnish, so some of them could definitely use some touch-ups. I also have these Corpse Grinder cult models. I'm pretty happy with these guys. I made a whole video on them about 2 years ago. I'm particularly happy with this guy with the long hair. He seems like such a no-nonsense type guy. And the guy who swings a circular saw by the cord, that'll never get old. That's peak silliness, and that's what Necromunda is all about. I of course have a Goliath gang as well. These big muscular brutes are some of my favorites. I named the leader Big Rich after a bodybuilder who I admired who passed away a few years ago. Rest in peace, Rich Piana. One of my favorites are these guys, the Ratskins. The Ratskins lurk in little passages within the hive and are renowned for their skills as guides, so I usually include a Ratskin in any gang I play with as a hired hive scum, just for flavor and fun. I think these guys are kinda cancelled for being too closely inspired by Native American cultures, which really sucks because I think they're really cool. This guy in particular, Brackar the Avenger, is possibly my favorite Necromunda model ever. He just has that classic 80s action hero feel that goes so well with retro Warhammer. These sneaky creeps are the Gene Stealer cult, who are Imperial citizens with an alien infection of their DNA. These guys secretly worship Tyranids and are working to bring Imperial society down from the inside. It's the oldest ruse in the book. For some reason, nobody ever suspects the pale purplish guys with the big foreheads. These guys here are technically Chaos Cultist models, but I think they're among the best suited to be used in ASH Wastes that I have. The fact that they're covered up and wearing respirators and seem kinda sketchy and mutated really does it for me. Now, I hate the idea of a world where the police are so corrupt and brutal that they're practically indistinguishable from another gang, but I do love these Palanite Enforcer models. I tried to go for a color scheme that was somewhat inspired by the old Batman animated series. If there's one lesson that 40k can teach us, it's that having the coolest outfit doesn't mean you're necessarily the most morally justified. These Delacs were my first gang, and they're still one of my favorites. The new Delac models have quite a different aesthetic and are all really tall and wearing long gown type things, but these guys with their bald heads and trench coats will always have a soft spot in my heart. I even bought a Delac t-shirt from the Games Workshop online store to match them. This guy in particular, who was a champion that I armed with the long las rifle, put in serious work in the last campaign I played in, and I haven't forgotten him. These guys are a strong contender. I have several other fragmentary gangs that I could use as well. I've got a box of mostly unbuilt dwarf prospectors, a box of Orlocks that's also still in similar condition, a bunch of the old metal Scavies, which I'm not really sure what rules they use these days. But of course, this is a video about the ASH Wastes, and I have a group of ASH Wastes nomads I've been working on too. There's a funny thing. Games Workshop generally releases great models, but sometimes something about the box art just doesn't do it for me, and it's not until I paint up some of the minis for myself in a simpler scheme more suited to my tastes that I realize that I actually really like some minis that I thought I didn't at first. These ASH Waste guys are a perfect example of that phenomenon in action. On the box they have these little look at me flaggy bits on their backs. I left those off of everybody but the champion, because they seem like an impractical thing to be wearing if you're trying to be at all stealthy. I think these guys are some of my favorite minis recently. They look really cool, like Tusken Raiders from Star Wars, but also their own thing. I love it. One of the great things about Necromunda is all the random characters you can add to your gangs. Doctors, chem dealers, mercenaries, pit fighters, psychic octopus, you name it. The only limit really is your imagination. Games Workshop makes a ton of these models, with a bunch of them being offered through Forge World as well, but there are also tons of available options from third parties as well, like the sponsor of this video, Print Minis. Print Minis offers a ton of cool sci-fi miniatures that really fit well into the world of Necromunda and 40k. I printed this cool sea captain type guy and painted him up, and I'm pretty stoked with how he looks. I painted him the same colors as Captain Haddock from Tintin. There are literally hundreds of other cool models to browse on my mini factory, from characters to vehicles to terrain, and if you join them on Patreon, you can get a big bundle of models for just $10 plus 50% off in their My Mini Factory store. It's a tremendous value. They also designed my first ever mini that's based on me, which I'm really stoked about. I designed him myself right from the pose on up. I imagine myself as a badass former military mercenary type, smoking a cigar as I contemplate my next move. You guys can get this Sergeant Eric model for free by signing up to the Print Minis mailing list this month. I'll put all the links to all of this in the description box below, so definitely go sign up, check out their stuff, and show them some support. Thanks Print Minis for sponsoring this video. Now currently I have a pretty cool desert setup to play ASH Wastes on, which consists of a bunch of rock formations and a desert battle mat, and some wasteland junk stuff. I also built this hive wall, which is perfect to play a game that takes place right on the edge of the hive, where the Ash Wastes begin. I have a lot of sci-fi buildings as well, that perfectly represent the traces of industry left in the barren wastes, and give a nearly unlimited gamut of possibilities for Ash Waste games. This red desert is really cool, but I'm also drawn to the idea of an ashier, grayer section of desert that looks even more toxic and inhospitable. Now, it would be completely impractical and nuts to start building a whole new set of terrain just for this one sort of flight of fancy and whim that I had. So anyways, I've started a whole new set of grey Ash Wastes terrain, complete with one of the most massive Necromunda builds I've done yet. And we're just getting started, guys. Stay tuned for that coming down the pipeline a few videos from now, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time on Eric's Hobby Workshop.